AI. Terrifying, but also insanely useful. You can use it for so many things. You could generate images. You can write entire movie scripts. You can ask it to write out a YouTube title for your video. Now, yes, there is a lot you can do with AI, and yes, it is scary. But can AI be used to generate reference images for Minecraft builds? Now, the answer is yes, okay? We all know that, but I can't make a full video out of it. I mean, we can cut it right here. No, we can't make a full video out of it if we already know the answer. So we're gonna pretend we don't know the answer, okay? And we're gonna carry on, okay? I'm trying to make a content, okay? So the other day, my brother showed me this that was just happened to be on my computer. So if I typed in, just say, generate of a cat, sure. And we go ahead and get a cat. Scarily good. AI is terrifying. But what I came up with, generate an image of a Minecraft. Oh, wow. So it doesn't look like it's one-to-one Minecraft buildings. Like, it's obviously a lot of this is not Minecraft blocks, but it's like a pixelated format. Like that you could definitely transfer easily into Minecraft. Now, sadly, I'm not really in the mood for castle, but that's really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and play around with this and try to find a build that I'm in the mood to build, kind of. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a lot harder to find an image of a build that you want to build when you don't know what you want to build. Like, say you know you want to build a futuristic Minecraft build. If you know you want to build something like that, it's a lot easier to narrow it down, and the AI could help you figure out what you want to do and stuff. So going in it blindly is probably not the best idea for this kind of thing, but I didn't know what I wanted to build. I kind of wanted to branch out and try something new. Like, that looks sick. That looks like more city skylines though, sadly. But I mean, it's cool. That would be a cool spaceship. I could definitely see somebody making that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and play around in this, try to find a build that I want. Then we'll start. All right, everyone, after a long time of finneging, I mean like an hour's worth of just generating images, trying to find something that I like, I finally found one. So let me show you the image. All right, this is what I am looking at. I think that's a really just cool design. I love the octagonal shape at the top with the dome and the spikes coming out, the bat wings or dragon wing. I don't know what those are. I knew I wanted a type of floating island type of feel. And then inside it kind of looks like an eyeball. I don't know. I really like it. I think that'll be a really cool build. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in my other monitor and I'm just gonna start to build. So looking at the picture, this build is actually not that big, and I don't want to go too big with it. We gotta find the middle of this bad boy, and I have no clue how I'm gonna do that. So that should be the middle right there. That looks about right. Now, I have never tried to make an octagonal shape before. I think the best way to do it might be to just make a circle. Now that seems fitting. So now we're gonna want to go ahead and grab something even different. So maybe dark oak. Let's do this. Let's figure out the size. How many blocks in between do we want? The staircase looks pretty big. I would say that's at least a 7-block staircase. And then it looks like there's like, I would say another 5 after the 7. So let's find the middle. This is staircase. Right, so we have that. And to make the hexagon shapes, we just connect those sides. Maybe the circle wasn't a good idea at all. I don't know, I'm trialing and error. Does that look right? No. So it does match up. That is what it's currently looking like, which isn't bad. I think I overcomplicated this when I first was looking at it. See, this is why I'm doing this. I've never built in an octagonal shape before. So we got the base platform, the shape of the main building, the staircase kind of laid out. I'm liking where this is going so far. Building big bases can definitely be intimidating. This is definitely not the biggest one. Yeah, I'm talking about you over there. Or that's a pretty big one too. But really what helps me is taking a step at a time. Like looking at this picture, you can look at that and be very intimidated and never even challenged to build something like that. But if you just take a step at a time by building the shapes. So I wanted the octagon first, the dome will come later. That's actually pretty easy. Then we try to get the platform out, the staircase, try to get the main points so everything is lined up correctly and should not have a problem later on. Next up, honestly, at this point, is start just building how it's actually going to look. I know some people like to build the entire thing out of wool and then change it back to how the colors that they actually want it. There's people that don't build at all and just play PvP. And then there's me, who just builds as he goes and makes it pretty as he goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to start getting the shape of everything. I usually do a wall at a time. That really helps. All right, so I've done some work. As you see, it is really starting to come along. I really try to get the shape going, try to get the walls, a little detail going in, and I'm really liking how it came out. Now, if you look at the picture and you look at the walls, obviously that looks more stone type walls and stuff in the picture. But I decided that maybe using AI is better as a reference, because I tried the stone theme and it just did not work as well. So I decided to try to change up the textures and change up the design a little bit, because it's a little clunky on the AI. Just you know, don't look down here. Down here is perfectly fine. Next up is to honestly to start designing the roof. The pillars and walls, I honestly would say, is done. I don't think I could do anything cooler. The only thing I could say, honestly, so it's dark. It's very, very dark, which I don't know if I want to change yet. I really want to try to finish the entire build, because maybe, right, since the inside is like a glowing eye, the eye will really stand out because everything else is dark. And that might look really cool. So I'm going to hold on adding lights to the pillars and stuff. Without shaders, this looks a lot uglier, but that's just because shaders is OP. So this layer right here, if you look at the top section, you see how it's divided into two? This layer that I'm building right now is the top of the first layer. If that makes any sense to you, congratulations. You can understand the jumbled words that come out of my brain. So next is we got to figure out the height. So I would say this wall goes down like that. Now, if I wanted to make it a bit more archy, I could do that, but I think it'll be actually okay when I add stairs. Something as simple as that, but I think it looks pretty good. Over here is going to be a little bit more difficult to do that. We could do that. That works, actually. That actually works really well. Okay, never mind. That was not difficult at all. It looks like it's got a bit of an outburst, so let's grab some deep slate. And then we can just be symmetrical like that. Nope, like that. So that's kind of what we were looking at. Those little bumps that pop out, that's what I'm looking at. Looks like we got some just walls around, and we'll just do that. It looks terrible because it's stone right now, but we're gonna want to change those walls now. I kind of wish we had the tough blocks right now. Okay, maybe we'll try the red. I think red will stand out a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Like, this part of the build is not something you're really supposed to look at, and I think it blends in well, and it matches the rest of the build so far. So I'm really happy with that. So now we have to do the painful processes of copying this, which is never easy. The best way to copy it, honestly, is to find a neutral block. So like this one is the same on every one of them. So t/copy. Should rotate this way, find the middle one, and look at it. And there we go. It is copied over and everything looks great. The only thing that's not changed is those, because I missed that in the copy. All right, I think that's looking really fripping good so far. So we're gonna try to do the same thing. We're gonna go ahead and grab the crimson. Yeah, I'm liking that. I think that fits pretty well. I would like at least one banner over here, so maybe right there. Okay, I like that. That's cool. And there we go. We have some arches, and I think that's looking really freaking good, which is surprising. When I started, this was a very complicated mess, which I overcomplicated, but in the end, I think is coming out really freaking strong. Okay, so we have one thing we have to do before we continue is transitioning these pillars into the upper layer. I think I messed up a little bit, actually. I'm not gonna go back and fix it, but I think I should have put that on the outer wall. Looking at the picture, so this comes out more, so that way I don't have to cover up this as much. Like, the pillar is barely even holding up the shape because of it, but it's okay. All right, I'm not exactly sure what this solution is going to be yet. So I had to take some creative liberties because of the fact that I messed up a little bit. So as you can see, I just made like a bonfire in each of the pillars. I think it looks honestly really cool. It's hard to tell exactly how well it will work in the end because I'm not following the guideline that AI gave me because of my error. But sometimes errors become really cool, like these bonfires. I have not actually looked in shaders. I'm really happy with that. I think that's the best outcome. I tried to do a bunch of stuff. I tried to do the simple slabs going across or try to connect it by stairs, and nothing looked good. So I decided to just go all out and make it a part of the design, which I think worked out. You know what? You guys have not had a cheeky time lapse in this video so far. So here's one of me doing the roof and the interior. Look at that. Isn't that pretty freaking cool looking? I think I did a pretty dang good job. The dome on the top was definitely a little bit challenging to get the right dimensions. Honestly, I was struggling to get this eye to look how I wanted it to, so I had to add like this outer layer. I was going to fill it with water. I did fill it with water, and then it looked terrible, so I had to take that out. Also, yes, it is a monster trap in there. The main build, I would personally say, is done. The eye is done, the entire build. Oh, that is incorrect. We have to do the bat wings, which I am very intimidated to do. I am never attempted to do, like, I think they're called organics, like dragon builds. So I've never tried to do something like that. I'm really going out of my comfort zone here. Like, yes, building an octagon is something I've never done before, and it wasn't that difficult as a builder. But building organic shapes, we'll see how I do with that. And then we also just have the bottom area, which is probably one of the easiest parts, I would think. I'm definitely going to put this build somewhere in my survival world. I'm not exactly sure where or when, but I think it's too cool to not to do that. So, and next up is starting the bat wings. I'm terrified. So I got the shape going. I don't think that is very bad. I think that looks pretty decent to what I want it to be. I think the size is correct. I think the looks correct from all angles. It looks pretty good. Right now it's just the outline, but I think it'll look pretty good when all set in stone. Now I just have to fatten it up, fill it in basically, and then copy and paste it on the other side. Also, I have not figured out how I'm going to connect it to the build yet. That's something I got to figure out because you can't really see that in the picture. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. But so I'm going to go thicken this boy up. The wings are looking pretty good. I'm really happy with how these wings came out. Don't get me wrong, they are not perfect, and the shape is definitely different from what I was just showing with the stone. It was a lot of findangling, a lot of messing about with it, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out. If you actually had somebody that knows how to do organics, I'm sure this could have been a lot better, but for me, who's never really done organics, I'm really surprised with how this came out. Like, I'm pretty proud of this. It definitely looks like a wing to me. Now, it could be just because I built it and I'm imagining it as a wing, but I really hope it looks like a wing. Now, the only problem is when I build this in survival, sadly, it is not going to be able to be this dark because mobs would spawn all over this thing, but I could do like a mob switch, like a chunk thing here maybe. So when you come in, you load all the mobs and then nothing can spawn. I could do that. I had to add lights on the wings because without them, it was just way too dark. I also added some lights around the base just to be able to see the shape a little bit better at night. Another thing I did is I raised these towers by 3 blocks. So before it was just, it felt shrunk, like it was too short. And 3 blocks does a lot. And I think that really helps out the build. And I would say now, officially, the main build is completed. And I love how it came out. This build is such an original design. I've never seen a design like this before. And that is honestly thanks to AI. I would have never imagined to do a build like this. And I've never seen a build like this on like Google when I'm looking up references. So AI is definitely useful to get new, different ideas. All that's left is honestly the easy part, probably, hopefully the easy part, which is the base. the build is done. After about 2 more days of work, I have gone ahead and finished the entire base, and it looks so much better with the base. Now, because I'm a master builder, it is perfect, okay? It can't get any better than this. I absolutely love how it came out. Love the shadow that it gives, so it looks super dark at the bottom. I also moved it to a real world, so it's not just on a super flat, basic, boring, creative world. I did have to do some creative liberties. It looked really off having that section over there and not having one over there. It just looked unbalanced, so I went ahead and did that because this is a pretty symmetrical build, at least on the top. The lava falls are also something I did by accident. Sadly, I did not have the time to do the back of it. I really want to get this episode out. Psych! Just kidding, like a psychopath. I went ahead and designed the back as well. Kind of just put in my own little spice. You thought I wouldn't do the back. Come on. But now here comes the most important part. Not really. Just putting on shaders because it, right now, like, without shaders, this build does look cool. Don't get me wrong. But when you put on shaders, it turns into a whole nother level of just god dang cool. Oh my god. It looks beautiful. I think these little outbursts type of things really help the interest rate of the build, and the little like floating bits and just like you don't know what's going on. It's like this is a very mysterious place. Honestly, there should be one more lava fall. We're going to go ahead and do that right now. And that should flow. But yeah, like I said, I'm super, super happy with how this came out. Now, I have not looked at this when it's nighttime yet. So let's take a look for the first time together. Oh, wow. That looks evil. And I love it. I did have to add some lights around. So there's some lights around the outside to get the shape a little bit better. I did not add any lights down there. I wanted it to be completely dark and evil. But I honestly almost like the daytime better because you get to see more of the detail, the more of the shape going on. So AI can, you didn't know this, okay? AI can definitely be used as a resource to create new and interesting builds that I would have never thought to build something like this without AI, with the interesting wings and the outbursts and just the messiness, because AI is not perfect yet. Give it a few years. But right now, I think AI is pretty good at using a resource. Now, I want to be clear. If you are going to use AI as a resource, don't say you made it up. Just like when you use a reference for art, don't say you created it fully, because it's just not true, and that's pretty lame. I'm super happy with how this came out. My little experiment came out so well, and I absolutely love how this build came out. I highly recommend you try to do this yourself and create some crazy builds. I'd love to see your builds in my Discord. That's in the description. Feel free to pop in there. I try to be as active as I can, but lately I've been a little bad because of life. Life has taken over. I don't know. That's going to be all for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.